Let's go there. Let's take it there. Let's not play around with them. So I covered this a couple, like last week or so. Don Lemon, doing the DNC convention, he went on a little road trip. So after he left CNN, he's got his own Don Lemon show that he does on YouTube and other platforms, I'm guessing. And he's had people on the show. So anyway, during the DNC convention, he went on the road. He did a Don Lemon on the road. Kind of hurt my feelings because I used to do Tim Black on the road. It ain't about me, it's about Don. So Don goes on the road. He stops off, he films, he interviews people, and they have conversations. And so we covered that. And the responses from the people on the ground is different than the responses you get in the polls. It's different than the responses you get on cable news, and the panels that they have. It's different than all of that. Not to go too much further, Don Lemon was on the Jen Psaki show on MSNBC. He talked about the responses he got on the field with real people. Not collated people picked by MSNBC showrunners, but real people, just, random folks off the street. Check it out.
Was there anything, what did they think about Harris? Did they have anything to say about her?
They did have, listen, it depends on where you are. We went to a number of different battleground states in Pennsylvania, Ohio, we were in Michigan, Indiana, on our way, obviously, Illinois, on our way to Chicago. And it sort of depended on where you were. Pennsylvania, well, I shouldn't say Pennsylvania, I should say Philadelphia, was a bit more liberal, and the answers to the questions about her and him were quite different. But for the most part, in Pittsburgh or at the Jersey Shore and in Atlantic City, in Ohio especially, many people did not know who she was, right? They weren't familiar with her. So I think.
Look at Jen Psaki's face. Look at Jen Psaki's face. Talk about some cold water just hit you in the grill. Yeah, man. That right there, that hurt, didn't it? Yeah, it hurts the sellout corporatists, the sellout commentators, the spokesmodels for the Democratic Party. This is not good for them. They don't they can't really deal with this. Reality check. Yeah. So Don's gonna let her have it. I think it's a little bit longer, but that's the cusp of it. What else, Don? Hurt her some more. Hurt their feelings, Don. Tell the truth for a shame.
Especially, many people did not know who she was, right? They weren't familiar with her. So I think she has to reintroduce herself to the public. But for him, I think that they thought that he's better for the.
Hold on. He said reintroduce themselves to the public. There you go, being charitable. No, they didn't know who she was. They didn't forget who she was. They didn't know who she was. You know how many people don't know who the hell Mike Pence is? A lot of people don't know who Mike Pence is. He was the vice president. A lot of people didn't know who Joe Biden really was. And he'd been in government for 40 years before he became VP. Didn't pay attention to this guy. He's a senator out of Delaware. If you only reason why anybody goes to Delaware is if they want to set up a business and avoid paying taxes. Nobody paid attention to Joe Biden. Okay, so it's just crazy how people try to. The Democrats are running into a buzzsaw, right? Because they want to create this aura of all this electricity. Because frankly, they know people are sheep and they'll just walk to the light. Light. They said they're giving away tacos. They said Kool-Aid and tacos. I want Kool-Aid and tacos. Yeah, sure. They know by and large, most Americans don't pay attention. Well, the Americans they want to reach. Right. So they're creating this thing now where it's all this buzz. They tell you something's hot. A lot of people go, it's hot. Why you know, how is it hot? How you know it's hot? Well, because they said it's hot. Oh, really? Yeah, they said it was hot. Well, but how do you know? They didn't just say it was burning up the charts. See, Kamala Harris is like a movie that they say has high ratings that you've never seen. Kamala Harris is like a track that's unreleased, right? That they say you could dance to, it's going to be a smash hit, Everybody's rocking it. And only problem is it ain't playing on none of the stations. You haven't heard the shit. There ain't no videos of it. You just hear this talk of this amazing song. And here's the real problem with that, guys. It sets up very high expectations. See, there's downsides to what they're doing. And they're doing an amazing job. Don't get it twisted. They're showing you how propaganda is done right. That's what they're showing. They're showing you how to do a psyop, how to set up the public and how to manipulate public opinion. Everybody needs to be taking notes of what's happening with Kamala Harris, man. This is textbook stuff that's occurring. You may not see this roll out in your lifetime again, the way this is playing out. Everybody who's trying to sell anything, do anything, step back from what you're seeing and just write it down. Because they're putting this together in such a way. They're socially engineering all of these people that think Kamala is killing it. Now, this is against all of the logic that people would have regarding anything you roll out. It's not available on the shelves. You can't taste it. You can't hear it. There's no videos. There's nothing. Right? What I'm saying is the authentic thing, the person. There's no sit-down interviews. There's no debates. There are, it's just all talk. And see, that's dope and all. And they're going to have to spend all that $500 million on getting the word out. But at the end of the day, what's the reality is there are a lot of people that don't know who she is. Unless you watch MSNBC and CNN, how else would you even know about this? I mean, you got to watch a major liberal news network to even know who Kamala Harris is. And the only way she's going to change that, the only way they're going to make this contest really, in my opinion, a knotted up contest like they say it is if she's on everything. Like she'd have to do all the night shows, all the day shows, all the podcasts, everything. And if she does that, everywhere you go, doesn't matter where you go, there you are. She's still Kamala Harris. And now, all of a sudden, the emperor has no clothes. All of a sudden, the teleprompter ain't going to help you. All of a sudden, you out there in front of the world, and it's just you. Kamala Harris can't do what I'm doing right now. And it's not like it's a magical skill. A lot of people do it. Kamala Harris can't do this. Think about it. Kamala Harris can't put up a YouTube channel and talk to you for 2 hours. No script, some notes of topics you want to hit, and just rock. You think Trump could do that? Do you think Obama could do that? If you're a Kamala supporter, put your brain on check for a second, let your emotions, calm down your emotions just a moment and just think about what I'm saying. She can't come to you on any given day and just talk. Okay? That's the problem. I'm not just because not because I got a problem with her. It's a problem because it's a problem with her end goal, okay? If there are people that don't know who you are, that's your fault. She has all the resources. She's not a struggling artist trying to get out her product, right? Kamala Harris has $500 million right now, but it can't buy you an election. It can't buy you a relationship with voters. It can't buy you interaction. It can buy you ads. It can buy you people, which we've seen. A lot of people it's brought. It can buy you influencers on TikTok and Facebook and YouTube to say nice things and follow scripts handed to them by third-party corporations that have hired them to do that. We've already exposed all that. I mean, they're not even hiding that. They want to buy the election. But the downside of that is there's no connection with the voters. There are people that still don't even know who the hell she is. And of the people that know who she is, they don't know what she stands for. A lot of them. Now, there's a certain group of Kamala Harris fans, supporters who are going to probably be voters. There's supporters, there's voters. Supporters are one thing, okay? Voters are people that may vote for her, but they may not be supporters. They may vote for her because they don't want to vote for Trump. What I'm saying is she has to reach a lot of people, and right now she's not reaching them. She's not reaching them. So let me fill it up. Let me finish up with Don before we move to the next part.
The economy, and that again, that he gave them, that he brought money into the community, and that he was on black people's side.
Yeah, that's because he said he was. See, here's the man. Part of my criticism with the Democrats, right, is they blame. They say that Trump is trying to manipulate the black community. They attack black men by saying black men are listening to Trump and siding with Trump. At the most, like I predicted, 30% of the black vote may go for Trump. Will go for Trump. That's what I predicted. That was under Biden. So it may dwindle to 20. That's still very significant, considering that would be more than any other Republican has gotten in the last 60 years. But when they criticize Trump for going after the black vote, you know, Kamala Harris isn't going after the black vote just because she looks brown, just because she's brown or black or whatever. She's not going after the black vote. Trump says black in his speeches. He makes the effort to include black people in the conversation. Kamala says she's including black people when she says people of color. I know a lot of black folks, and I've been black a very long time. Black people do not like being grouped in with other groups of people as if we're just this mass of people, when black people are the people that were in this country, have been in this country before this country was a country. Black Americans have been in America before America was America. And we got other people that came in with the Immigration Rights Act, or what was it, 1960 something, 1970? Big difference, right? So, lot of good points here, man. I'm glad Don did this. It's unfortunate that he still is tethered like to the corporate crap, you know. And it's a shame, man. How can you get like millions and millions, multiple tens of millions of dollars payoff from CNN? It's still got to be wedded, still got to be tied to them. Still can't just tell the truth, man. Them people, they forget who Kamala was. They never knew who she was. And they are making a gamble that they can buy their way into the White House, that they don't have to do what every other presidential campaign or candidate has to do. And it's really Kamala's fault. Kamala's been a vice president for 4 years. If she knew she wanted to run for office, she should have had a podcast. She should have already been doing media stuff. She should have been doing her own stuff. She has a team of people. Kamala has a corporation that supports her. It's Team Kamala. She's got her own people. Biden has his own people, the Biden team. Kamala should have been working on building up her brand, building up her infrastructure, building up her connection with the people this whole time. And I do not accept the excuse, oh, well, she just got thrown into this. Kamala is a career politician. She's a career politician. Ain't no such thing. Okay? Period. So we'll see how this plays out. But you heard what Don said. I believe it's very much true. I heard people being interviewed saying, I'm voting for the black lady. They didn't even know her name. They didn't even know her name. And since we're talking about Kamala Harris, we're talking about her lack of being prepared for this moment, which is the biggest moment in like one of the biggest moments in world history, probably, like in American history, right? This is a very big deal. Sometimes I don't think people really consider what we're talking about here. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about the first black woman, the first female, the first woman as president. And she's Indian and black. Like, this is a monumental thing. And it's like, you're going to just try to wing it? You're going to just try to hope that you don't have to, what? That you don't have to really like do stuff? Look, guys, it gets worse. So let's go to this piece. So everybody's been criticizing, well, not everyone. Some people are defending her and not doing interviews because they don't care if we know who she is. They just want us to vote for her. They don't care that we're not going to know what she's doing, what she's going to do for us, what the real vision is. She gave one speech at the DNC. That's good enough. You don't need to know anything else. Yeah. Well, she has agreed to finally do an interview. Finally, she's going to sit down and do an interview. And here goes that information on that interview.
That CNN will hold an exclusive interview with Kamala Harris, her first since becoming the Democratic presidential nominee. Her running mate, Tim Walz, will join as well for this first interview. This is also their first interview together as the Democratic ticket. Let's bring in our CNN political director, David Chalian. So, David, what are we learning?
Yeah, I mean, we have been waiting to see this next sort of important hurdle for Kamala Harris and her campaign to jump, which is after a very successful 6 weeks here since she became the Democratic nominee, coalesced the party behind her, raised a ton of money, injected enthusiasm, got a running mate, pulled off a convention. All of that, though, Alex, very scripted. Now, a couple other things coming up. They said they were going to schedule an interview, a sit-down interview, an extensive interview before the end of the month. That now is happening on CNN with our colleague Dana Bash, our anchor and chief political correspondent, down in Georgia. Harris and Walz are going on this bus tour starting tomorrow in Georgia. The interview will take place on Thursday. It will air as a primetime special at 9 p.m. Eastern here on CNN on Thursday. And as you noted, it is, of course, the first joint interview that the Democratic nominee and the vice presidential nominee are doing together, but it's also her first interview, the vice president, as the Democratic candidate. This is the first time she's going to take questions in a concerted effort like this in an interview format since Joe Biden 6 weeks ago upended this entire race by making.
Yeah, man. I don't care who you are. I understand we have differences of opinion. We got all types of people to watch this show. And to take a phrase from Kamala Harris, let's be really, really clear. This is weak sauce. Let's be really, really clear. This is what losers do. Let's be really, 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 really clear. You ain't ready. Or that's a phrase from Tiffany Haddish. She ready? How about she ain't ready? Let me get this right. You haven't had a sit-down interview since you took the nomination, since you were handed the nomination, okay? And now you can't even sit down and talk to Dana Bash at CNN. It's not like you're walking into a buzzsaw. You can't sit down with CNN by yourself as the potential commander-in-chief, man, the one that's been sitting in the situation room, the one that's been sitting in the room with Biden when we have decided to send bombs or pull troops. I mean, you've been that close to everything with Biden, and you can't sit with Dana Bash and talk. You got to bring Timmy. They're not calling her a coward for this. They're not calling her lame for this. Now, just imagine if Trump wouldn't do a sit-down unless J.D. Vance was with him. We ain't even going to try to imagine it. Double standards. Triple standards, Johnson. This is the lamest of the lame. This is supposed to be like an extra thing you do after you've done a couple sit-downs. Then you sit down with your VP, maybe, and be like, yo, we're just doing this for fun, man, to show you the chemistry with the team. Now, you don't do this first. First, you should have already did this. You should, in my opinion, Kamala Harris should have already sat down with somebody before she even brought in Tim Walz. Let me get this right as well. Let me go there. Let's go here all the way. Because I got people that are saying, Tim Black, you must be a Trump supporter. No, I'm a reporter. I'm a commentator. I'm actually as more unbiased than probably anybody you watch because I don't like neither one of these parties. And I'm not afraid to say it. In fact, that's my brand. Both parties suck, Johnson. I'm for the people. Put it to you this way. Donald Trump has been called racist, basically a Klan member that hates black people for 8 years. And you know what he did? He went to the National Association of Black Journalists by himself in the most hostile of territories. Did not have pre-screened questions and sat there for an hour. He caught hell for it because he said what so many black people been saying, which is, hey, you know, Kamala was black. I mean, she's been basically running and putting herself out as an Indian American for this entire time till she starts running for office, till she wants to be VP, and then it goes back to Indian, then it's back to black. He said only what people been saying, and then all these black commentators and all these folks had to act like they didn't know what we were talking about. So anyway, we don't want to dig that back up. What I'm saying is, he did that. He did that. Kamala can't do that. Kamala hasn't done that. I believe it's because she can't do it. Now, you can tell me all the reasons in the world. You can make up whatever type of fantastical stories you like to tell yourself. But you can't tell me why someone who wants to be president of the United States can't do a sit down in a friendly environment. She can't, folks, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I know all the people that are selling out, all the people that, oh my God, Kamala, chameleon. All these people that are so in love with this woman, so enamored, they got all their hopes and dreams. And I'm sorry, man, they should have never set you up this way. I sincerely feel bad. I have a granddaughter, she's 12 years old. Her name is Naomi. And she's watching this. And she's about to get her heart broke. Because that little 12-year-old girl who's watching what could be the first woman president of the United States fall flat on her face, all because the Democrats wanted to prop her up when she ain't ready. There's something to be said about going through all of the steps in order to get to a place so that when you get to the place, you are ready for that opportunity. Now, that's what she says, opportunity, the opportunity economy, the opportunity this, the opportunity that. It was littered all over her speeches, all over her speech, I'm sorry, her stump speech. Only got like one speech. Okay. But what happens? She doesn't take her own advice. You have to be prepared for the opportunity. Kamala Harris is not prepared for the opportunity. So what the Democrats have done, and it's very selfish, I believe, and I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm going to say this. I believe the Democratic Party has no real belief that Kamala Harris will win this election. I believe that there are many of those in the Democratic Party, the elites, they would put, if they had to bet their own money, they would put it on Trump. They chose Kamala because they wanted to keep black women in the party. Because black women, if they didn't let Kamala run, and if anybody challenged her, they would have, Newsom would have beat her, Gretchen Whitmer would have beat her, Josh Shapiro would have beat her. She would not be the nominee if they allowed it to go to convention, if they allowed it to be an actual primary or whatever, any type of form of voting. And they knew that would cost them black women. So hands were tied. They had to go with Kamala, and they're just happy if they're able to keep some seats in the House and Senate, because they were looking at a shellacking. So they're just trying to avoid getting shellacked. I can't imagine a scenario where Democrats really think it's okay that you can't go and sit down and talk to people, that you can't do an interview, that you can't. So she is unprepared. And now she's going to go out here, she's going to fail, okay? She's going to fail. It's not going to work. And they're going to blame the racist society. But first they're going to blame black men. Then they're going to blame racist society. First it's going to be black men didn't do enough. Oh, if only black men was like D.L. Hugley. If only we was like Ricky Smiley and Uncle Luke and all the other, all the Steve Harvey. If only black American men, or if only black American men would got behind her more. Meanwhile, white men will be like, Asian men gonna be like, Latino men, they all gonna vote way less than us for her. But we gonna catch all the heat. It's gonna be a big divide. It's gonna be a smear campaign on who the Democrats can point the finger at and blame for the L. And when I say L, I don't mean LL Cool J. I mean the lose, the loss, the big loss at zero they're about to catch behind this Kamala thing, because she is not ready. And you know what? Maybe she's not supposed to be president. Maybe that's not her strong suit. Maybe the Peter principle is in place, which is people tend to get promoted to a position where they're incompetent. I think Kamala Harris was better staying in a Senate role. That's what I think. Where she could do all her remarks prepared. She doesn't have the gear. She don't have the charisma gear, guys. You need the charisma gear to do this job at this level, particularly coming after Obama. And Trump. Once again, Trump can go stand in front. They say all this crap about Trump. They take him out of context. A guy joking about Hannibal Lecter, that becomes a news bite. Like he really wants to eat people. Like the Democrats are so desperate to smear Trump because he can do what their candidate can't do. He can get on stage without a script and connect with his audience and just talk. In my experience, people who can't do it always cheapen it and demean it because they can't do it. What they can't do, they demean it, of course. They try to make it a negative because they can't do it. I mean, people try to talk crap because they can't do this. That's not important. He's a clown. He jokes. That's part of delivering a message that's not boring. You don't have a disposition that's disarming. You're not able to get people inspired. You're not able to you don't have charisma. Probably never had it. That's important to be a leader. To be able to communicate. So it is what it is, man. And that's just one piece of it, man. That's just one piece. I'm going to see what the rest of what this gentleman had to say here. CNN, what other points? Are we going to just talk about that?
That historic decision to bow out of his campaign, endorse his vice president, Kamala Harris, and that sent her on to these last 6 weeks here. And there are a lot of questions that have been lingering out there for her to answer as we go into this fall campaign.
And in speaking with the campaign, they've made the point that you just did. It's been a busy 30-plus days. She's had a lot to do, not least of which was last week at the DNC. But as you note, that was all very scripted. So how much more revealing can an interview like this be for the voters? And I guess more importantly, for those undecideds who are still going to be making up their minds in the next few weeks.
Yeah, so I don't think voters look at it like we do and say, oh, do an interview, take more questions. We in the press
afterwards,
love
perhaps, when
but
something...
Exactly, but I do think voters learn valuable information from a candidate seeking the highest office in the land about how they think in these unscripted moments and how they think through a pressing challenge or question that they are being asked.
This is how to get a feel for you, folks. This is so important because I agree with him. It's not, I don't believe that voters are sitting back going, oh, she's got to have debates. She's got to go out and do an interview. She has to do an interview. Like, those people are working their jobs, doing what they're doing. But see, here's the deal, and this is something I learned, and I had to learn it. And frankly, I learned this on a panel with some other commentators, Jimmy Dore, Steph Zamora, Lee Camp, Jordan, I think Jordan was there. No, he wasn't. I forget who it was, but Jordan wasn't there. Jordan Sheridan from Status Quo. So we're doing this thing in Baltimore, right? We're at the Funny Bone or something. And I'm on the panel, we're on the panel, we're talking. And there's no prep, right? Jimmy's doing this stand-up thing. He shoots it over to the screen. We talk about news events. And here's the thing, guys. When you're on a panel like that, you're not trying to be the star, man. You look for moments. Moments where you shine. And then you set up alley-oops for the next person. You don't try to score all the buckets. You are not trying to be Kobe. You're just trying to, when you get the ball, you're just trying to make your shot. When you get the ball, make a shot. And then when you get the ball, sometimes you pass the ball. See, these are all things that you have to do, that you learn to do over time. And I said, wow, after that panel, I remember talking to Steph Zamora, and I was like, from the Jimmy Dore show, I remember talking to her about it. I was like, man, I had a really good time with you guys. It was dope. I felt so light. I didn't have to do everything. She says, you did exactly what you should do, which is just look for your moments. And easy breezy. And what I mean by that when it comes to Kamala Harris, it's not that voters are sitting back going, oh my God, I'd vote for her if only she did a sit-down interview. No. If you're a hardworking person and you're a person taking care of kids, living your life, you ain't sitting around waiting for interviews. But from an interview, there will be a clip that will show us something about you. It will demonstrate you interacting in a way. It'll be a moment. That's it. It'll be a moment, and it will hit different voters different ways. There'll be like 4 clips that come out of that interview. And then in one of those clips may possibly find its way to a website, a social, on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, someplace, X, where they see a side of you that resonates with them. It'll be something that came up that you said, and you may not even know what it is, but it'll hit home for them, and it will leave an impression. So it's not just, because if that's the case, you could just do speeches, prepared speeches, right? All the time and just tell your life story. Nah, it's something about interacting with another human being, unscripted, having an opportunity to have a human moment, and then express and show who you are. It can still be about business. It doesn't have to be personal business, but you can relate to your personal life in that moment. I don't know what it's going to be. No one knows. So there is so much that Kamala Harris is missing because she's missing this gear. And I think it's the difference. Because when people go to the Trump rally and he's doing a joke and he's talking about Hannibal Lecter or talking about something with the MMA or whatever he's talking about, or a throwaway line about Joe Rogan or whatever he says, the audience gets it. The audience gets it. And when the CNNs and the MSNBCs, and when they dice it up and deliver it to their audience and spin it, and they go, ugh, that's fine. It wasn't for them anyway. But the people that it was for, it hit home. And that's what it's all about. And that's what Kamala's missing. And that'll be one of the reasons why she loses, if she loses. And they will never admit it. They'll never come out and say, hey, we should have did this. Hey, she just didn't have that gear. We can't make a person be other than what they are. She's uncomfortable. And then I heard she's not that pliable, as in she's not really trying to take direction on this stuff. Like she's like my way or the highway, hence the 92% turnover rate, the highest turnover rate of any vice president. Okay? Of staff. They left for a reason. People gave up being, people quit on their own accord or were fired from her more than anybody else. She like running, I don't know what she's running over there. Is it like, what, an Ellen DeGeneres thing going on? Is there some tapes hidden? Like Sheila Jackson Lee, when Sheila Jackson Lee used to go hammer lamb. Rest in peace to Sheila Jackson Lee, but I'm just saying, she had some very revealing tapes come out about the real Sheila Jackson Lee. I was like, wow, she got a set of lungs on her. So anyway, that's the point, man, and I appreciate them keeping it real here. Let's see here. We're gonna stay on. Let's stay on Harris because we're on Harris. Let's stay on Harris. Let's go to another clip. This one, is this CNN as well? I think it is. Here goes further conversation about Kamala Harris.
The line now going to be, well, why isn't she doing it by herself?
Yeah, I do think people are going to bring that up. Like, I have great confidence in Dana and CNN to do this. I think it's incredibly weak sauce to show up with your running mate. The fact that they don't have enough confidence in her to let her sit herself, the actual top of the ticket, and do a single interview. In fact, I think the hand-wringing and the gyrations over this over the last month show a troubling lack of confidence in her political ability, which also makes you wonder as a voter, well, what kind of president would you be if this kind of a small-time decision, can we do an interview or not, what does that look like for your decision-making process, so on? So, yes, I think Republicans are going to think it's pretty weak to show up with effectively someone to take up half the time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Kind of lame. It's kind of lame. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think Americans are sitting back going, I don't think that the average person, just to kind of get into the head of the average person sitting at home when they find out about this, when they watch this interview, they'll be like, who's this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to be the leader. Kamala Harris is supposed to be the leader. She's the president. Nobody voted for Tim. Well, shit, nobody voted for Kamala. That's bad, right? That's bad. When's the last time that happened? All right. Yeah, I know something happened before or whatever. That don't make it right. That doesn't mean that's a good precedence. That doesn't mean it's democratic. That doesn't mean it's the process. That the point is this. People are going to cut on their TVs. They're going to turn to this, and they're going to say, who's this old white guy sitting next to her? She's supposed to be the leader. She's supposed to do this, and you get to know her. Then you bring this guy no one cares about. He's like a crutch for her. Why we need her? Hey, look, if you're a left-type leaning person, you want him way more than you want her. I mean, let's keep it a buck. Hey, I don't rock with these guys anymore, but I know for a fact 75% of the people that are consider themselves lefty or left, I don't know about this radical left. I don't know many radical lefts. The real radical lefts don't participate in elections, not with this two-party system goofies. All right, but they only voted for Kamala if they do vote for her because of Tim Walz. And this is further reason why, you know, it's a bad ticket, like for a lot of reasons. But anyway, she's using Tim Walz as a crutch, frankly. And nowhere is it more evident than right now. You don't really think she's doing this to help Tim Walz. It's so weak. The fact that everyone on MSNBC and CNN and ABC and CBS and all the other networks are not saying this looks horrible, this is pathetic, this is dereliction of duty, this is unequivocally one of the most pathetic displays. This is repugnant, this is embarrassing. This is beyond embarrassing. Hide your face, lady. Don't come outside. All that dancing, and let's be really, really clear, all that don't matter. Kamala Harris is not doing a joint interview to help Tim Walz broaden his profile. Kamala Harris is doing a joint interview because Tim Walz is helping her. You know, 50 Cent never needed Young Buck to be on the track with him. 50 Cent didn't need the game on the track. Okay? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Nas doesn't need backup dancers. Okay? Okay? Let's keep it a buck here. Yeah? Kendrick doesn't need someone, holding it down for him. Yeah, you can play all the hip-hop music and get the rights to him to play him on your show, but Beyonce, she doesn't need a singer to co-sign, to co-sing with her. All right? You can't buy it. Yeah, you can get picked by Joe Biden to be VP. You can let the Democratic Party choose you to be his successor. But you can't get picked to be president. You have to be elected. Votes are earned, not given. All right. That's it, man. I'm telling you, man. This is why we need to have the Tim Black Show be on more stages, be more places. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolf Pack. Become a member of the Tim Black VIP Club, y'all, because we doing it. We turn this thing up, man. They ain't talking. They're not telling the people the truth. And the bottom line is, look, if you're going to vote for Kamala Harris, be pushing her ass to give you policies. Politics to me is all about what we get for our communities. And anybody that begrudges me saying the Black community needs to get definitely policies that directly impact the Black community. That's how I feel, period. 4% of the wealth. I think we moved from 2 to 4% of the wealth in the United States. That's not enough, Johnson. That's not working. Was it 4, 6, 7% of the SBA loans? It went from 2 to 7. That's great. And I will give you credit for the 2 to 7 that took place over the last 5 years. We still need to get to like 14, though. So we got to push until we get what we deserve. But if you're going to just usher in, you're just going to coronate Kamala Harris and not ask anything, not make demands. LGBTQ have demands. Latino communities have demands. The Jewish community have demands. The Asian community has demands. Native Americans have demands. The unions have demands. All the other groups have demands. But for some reason, we got Black people who are being paid to tell other Black people, don't you have no demands. In fact, don't even ask questions. You still listen to them? That's my Obama face. Let's stay on Kamala Harris because we're already there. Okay. So she wants to be handed the presidency. That's the only game plan that I think works for them. That ain't going to happen. That ain't how it's going down. Y'all keep talking about Trump stealing the election or Trump trying to steal the White House. What do you call this, man? Kamala's trying to steal it without stealing it. Like Team Kamala, Democrats trying to steal the White House. Covertly. A quiet steal. This is crazy. All right, let's go to this. So she finally agreed. She's going to sit down, I think it's Thursday, to do a sit-down interview with her and her daddy, her father, her stepdad, Tim Walz. He looks like us. He could be a stepdad. Anyway, besides that, there are also some talks about the debates that are coming up in September. So Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, they agreed to do debates. Then it was up in the air. Now they've come to a conclusion, or they've come to an agreement. Here's the thing. Kamala Harris wants to change the rules of the debates. She can't just go with the rules that were already in place with Biden. Nah, she wants to change the rules. She wants to alter them. Here goes a clip about that. Debate rule changes.
Tonight, the Trump and Harris campaigns dueling over next month's critical presidential debate. This morning, Trump casting doubt about attending, and now a new wrinkle.
The deal was we keep the same rules. Now all of a sudden they want to make a change in the rules because she can't answer questions.
In the last face-off, at the Biden campaign's request, candidates' microphones were muted while the other candidate was speaking to prevent interruptions. But now the Harris campaign is asking for the mics to be left on at all times. Trump's campaign objecting, but the candidates seeming to acquiesce today while taunting the vice president.
Real quick, guys, like one of the reasons why I don't like this is because it just reeks as someone who wants to play victim. Yeah, Kamala wants the mics not to be muted so she can go, he kept cutting me off. He wouldn't let me speak. I'm speaking. She wants to say that. She instead of saying I'm gonna knock this guy out. I'm a freaking prosecutor. I was an attorney general. I was a senator. I've been vice president. I've got all of this training. I've been doing this for the last 30 years. Instead, she's relying on, he keeps cutting me off. Look how crazy he is. He's just loud and overbearing. She wants to play that card, man. That's what she wants to do. It's lame. And see, they keep trying to sell Trump as Trump is scared of her. They keep saying he's the one afraid of her. Hold on a second. She can't sit down and do the interviews without having Tim Walz. And now she got to change the debate rules so that she can play like she's being attacked. But he's the one that's afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid you're going to cry? What's he afraid of? That's the problem. Okay, this is a problem. This makes her look bad again. But once again, most people at home, I don't think we will even give a damn. Like, won't give a damn. But I think from her, strategically, it's like she wants people to be upset if Trump interrupts her talking. How dare he interrupt a black woman when she's speaking? How dare he? He just cut her off. Did you see that? That's what she's hoping for. And instead of people saying, hey, why didn't they do a thing where they could eliminate that out the way so that that's not even an issue? They won't think that far. They'll just go, Trump's rude. Trump's rude. That's what they'll say. They won't think further like, well, maybe if the rule could have been in place that his mic was cut when it was her turn to talk, this would be a non-issue. She wants it to be an issue. See? She wants it to be an issue. She wants to flop. She wants to flop. That's all. She wants to flop. Who used to do it? Lambeer, who used to flop on the NBA? There were some guys who were amazing at flopping, which is one of the most ridiculous, like most of the most lame but effective things you could do in the NBA, right? Is to pretend like you got fouled. Like, oh, it fall on. It used to be some guys who were doing pretty good at that. You know what I'm saying? It was a guy that played for the Pistons, man. I see him, but I can't remember his name. This guy was excellent at it. Big white guy, man. This guy, anybody know what I'm talking about? This guy was excellent at it. He was an incredible flopper, yo. And it was, people get so mad they want to kick his butt, man. I want to knock this guy. This guy was so good at it. People saying LeBron James. But that's what Kamala wants to do. She wants to do a flop. She wants to, oh, no. There's a meme. Right now, there's a meme that's been out there for a while, and it's showing how kids from different generations, and it's like they're showing when you walk down the hallway and you bump into the wall, they were showing like Gen Z. Now, Gen X, we bump the wall and look at the wall and keep walking. And it was just showing how now that things have progressed when the Gen Zs, they bump into the wall. It's like, oh my God. And then they show like themselves take a picture. It's a great meme. I don't know why I did that. I need the video. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, right? The point is, she's flopping. She wants to flop. You know, it's so obvious. This is lame. Once again, this is not what a leader does. A leader doesn't look for an opportunity to fall out. What is this, Friday? Ezel? Is a slip? We're going to pretend to fall in the back of the liquor store? It ain't even wet over here. Get off the ground. It ain't even wet over here. My neck and my back. That's what she wants to do, guys. My neck and my back. Ow, my neck and my back. That's what the president of the future, the potential president of the United States wants to pull an Ezel. And we have people that are afraid to even call it out. They can't say a mumbling word. This is pathetic. This is the definition of weak sauce, guys. It don't get no weaker. This is Kamala's all show and no pony. It's all a game. It's all a mirage. It's all phony. It's all put together. It's a script. The Democratic Party is the party of Hollywood, and this is a Hollywood script that she's playing. She's playing a presidential candidate that's tough when she's not. She's playing someone who's ready when she's not. And look, this is just my objective opinion based on the evidence. If you got to go up against somebody and they really are annoying and loud and overbearing, you be like, okay, look, cut his damn mic. I want to say what I got to say. What I say is important. And I don't need to be all night, spend all night with him trying to talk over me, trying to hide the fact he don't know what he's talking about when I'm trying to make a relevant point. That's what a strong person would want to do. A strong person would be like, yo, I want the mic cut because that's that now. He's going to try to talk. He's going to try to interrupt when I'm making a point. I can't have that. Right? But she wants to go the other way. I want him to interrupt. So I go, oh no. He's look at this. I couldn't say what I needed to say. I couldn't speak. It is what it is, guys. Tell me, hey, look, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Listen, comment, send me a super chat, tell me if I'm wrong. It ain't got to be a lot, couple bucks, and I'll read your question. I think I'm right. I think I'm dead on, Johnson. You know why? Because I don't rock with either one of these parties. I'm just calling it straight. And if it was Trump saying he needed security, I need security here, like I would be calling him out. Like, what is wrong with Trump? This is lame. So what I've seen the Democrats do, whenever you disagree with them, they got to label it something. Right? In their heart of hearts, they know I'm right. I'm right, Dems. I know it hurts. All right, let's let this guy keep talking, though. This is amazing.
Doesn't matter to me. I'd rather have it probably on. The truth is they're trying to get out of it because she doesn't want to debate. She's not a good debater. She's not a smart person.
Vice President Harris has been off the trail since her acceptance speech last Thursday. Sources tell NBC News she's held at least one mock debate.
We've got 75 days to go, so maybe for better and for worse, that's the way I am. Like, that was good, now we gotta move on.
All of it as former President Trump was in battleground Michigan, looking to step on any Harris post-convention bounce. Campaign sources tell NBC News he's planning more aggressive fall travel. And while polls show voters give Harris the advantage on health care and abortion rights, Trump aiming to hammer Harris on two issues where they show she's vulnerable: the economy and the border.
Under Kamala Harris, American veterans are treated worse by far than illegal aliens. Illegal aliens are treated. You ever see them? They stay in hotels. We have veterans sleeping on the street.
Speaking to a National Guard conference, Trump slamming the vice president over the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan, where 13 U.S. service members were killed 3 years ago. Today, Trump laying a wreath at Arlington.
The humiliation in Afghanistan set off the collapse of American credibility and respect all around the world.
Harris today writing of the fallen, "My prayers are with their families and loved ones. My heart breaks for their pain and their loss."
Garrett joins us now live. Garrett, let's go back to the debate for a moment. The Harris campaign is now responding to Trump.
That's right, Tom. The Harris campaign aide says the former president should honor his commitment. And after Trump earlier suggested he's fine without those muted mics, the Harris campaign insists everything's now set. But tonight, Trump still says he's still thinking about whether to do the debate. Tom?
Thanks. Look how he rolled his eyes, Tom. Like, oh, how dare he, how lame of Trump to not want to change the rules. It's bad. Arlene Chambers said, Arlene said, what'd you say, Arlene? I'm sorry. Let's go here. Arlene said, now I need to go watch Friday again, Tim. Flippity flop flop. That's it. That's what I'm talking about, man. And it's sad. It's sad, folks. You know, it is what it is. Now I agree. I agree with the summation, right? Moreover, most people feel like Kamala Harris is better on healthcare. I don't know why. I think they're giving it to her just because she's a woman. I hate to say it like that, but I think they are. I mean, what is she really? I mean, what is she doing on healthcare? Oh, that's right, the insulin thing. That was his idea. And people keep giving her that her and Biden took credit for. But you would think like Democrats have been making more moves on the Medicare, on the on the healthcare front, and Trump was trying to like end Obamacare, and like maybe some of that stuck. So I would think, okay, that makes sense. There are people that are going to think they're better on healthcare. I don't know if they are or not. I know it's not where I want healthcare to be, because I think healthcare should be a human right. That's what I think. I think in the richest country in the history of countries, we should all have healthcare. I know it's radical. It's crazy talk. Uh-oh, cuckoo. Tim's crazy. You know, we could all have an internet connection. I think we should all have healthcare. If you could get a burger anytime you want, any time of day, I think you should be able to get healthcare. That's all. I didn't say BBLs. I didn't say you should be able to get BBLs free of charge. I'm saying you should be able to get healthcare that saves your life. Okay. And just keep you healthy. So for Democrats, it was healthcare, but for Trump, it was economy and border, right? Economy and border. Yeah. Here it is. Now, and also women's reproductive rights. I mean, how could she? That's right up there with healthcare, I think. But not exactly. It's close. It's in the vicinity. So I think that's an accurate description. You got to kind of watch these corporate media, man. They are really in the bag for the Democrats. It's just Kamala's making it really hard to keep the finger on the scale, man. Jesus. I mean, it's obvious. It's too obvious. She's like, oh God, I can't throw it for you. You're doing it in the open. People can see you. Do you know that we can see you? You're like throwing this thing. It's obvious, man. Anyway, so those are debate rules. But there are. I thought that was the only debate rules that were being challenged was the mics. Turns out they want more concessions. Man, folks.
Trump is very ready to debate. He has accepted the rules that were put on the table. Kamala Harris is now coming in and trying to change those debate rules. It is remarkable that she's saying she has to have notes. She needs a crib sheet before she goes in. She wants to sit down to have this conversation. Look, President Trump made it very clear he wants to have debates. He wants to have these conversations. And I think that the American people really should relish the opportunity to see Kamala Harris standing up at a podium for 90 minutes straight without notes and trying to tell people where she stands on these key issues.
Okay. The Democrats hate Fox News, but I could not find a clip with MSNBC saying this. Okay? I could not find a clip with CNN saying this. I couldn't find a clip with ABC or NBC. Fox News is the only place I can find this. Now, maybe News Nation said it. It's just basic. Let me get this right. Kamala Harris doesn't want to stand at the podium like everyone else does, like Joe Biden. He's like 80 and he can stand, but you can't. And you need notes. See, man, this is bad. Those women who have their hopes and dreams tied into this, who are emotionally invested in this at this point, look, I'm not taking pleasure in this. But see, that's why I want more women need to run for office. More women need to run for the highest office. I don't think Hillary or Kamala Senator Nina Turner could stand there with no notes. Michelle Alexander could stand there without notes. Okay? No notes. I'm just saying. I met Nina Turner's dad. He a black American. He real black. Her mama black, her dad black. They from America black. They black. Their blood, their ancestors, they from here. That would be amazing. Why we can't have us, I'm just saying, guys, this is going to be bad. There are going to be women that are going to have their hearts broke. Not just black women, all women. There's going to be a lot of Indian women very upset because Kamala's going to let them all down. And that's because she's put into a position to try to do something. I feel it's not about paper. It's not about her qualifications on paper, of course. Attorney General, prosecutor throwing people in jail, did real good at that. Like senator, vice president, like all the boxes are checked except the one box. Are you the right person? Do you have all the stuff you can't learn in school? Do you have all the stuff you don't learn on the job, but you learn being a certain type of person? Bill Clinton didn't need to be all those things to be president because he had a gear. Say what you want. Look, man. Look, I know we've had some men that shouldn't have been president, and I didn't vote for George Bush. You know what I'm saying? But there were people that felt like George Bush could be a guy you could talk to. George Bush could get up there and meander and say a bunch of dumb stuff, and people were like, I want to have a beer with that guy. Like, I'm telling you what people said. People said that Bill Clinton, if you had a conversation with him, he made you feel special. He knew how to make you feel like you were the only person that mattered. This is the stuff I read about Bill Clinton. We all know about Obama. You know what I'm saying? There are women who have these abilities. There are women that can talk to people and make them feel inspired and motivated, or make them feel like this woman is more than just tough, but she's got a gear that's disarming or that's reassuring or something. And she just doesn't have that. And you can't make it up. And then to be able to sit down for an interview. All these rule changes, all this is catering to the fact it's trying to massage, it's trying to camouflage, rather. It's trying to camouflage that she doesn't have that gear. And it's not going to work because people can see it. It is what it is. All right. Enough with that. Let's go to RFK Jr. because RFK recently, I think we're here. Well, real quick, guys, could you hit like on hit like for me, guys? It's really important to hit like on this live stream if you're getting something that you don't think you would get everywhere else. Like, this is a great live stream. If you like the content that we're putting out, hit the like button. Let that algorithm know the Tim Black Show is relevant. It's important. We dropping some good information, some quality information. And it would be great if you became a member of the show. Hey, you can hit the member button here on Facebook or YouTube, or you can go to Patreon, Tim's Take Live, Patreon, Tim's Take Live, and become a member there as well. It's like $5 a month, get you started, and it goes a long way. It helps the show keep going. Let's go here. So we all know RFK dropped out of the race. Oh, I'm sorry. He suspended his campaign. I hate when people say that. Has anyone ever restarted a suspended campaign? Don't answer that. It doesn't matter. That's the term, suspended. Okay. He endorsed Donald Trump. He has not been picked for a cabinet position or none of that. It's just they're going to work together, and he's going to give his observations or his input, and we'll see what happens, right? But RFK Jr. sat down with Tucker Carlson. He had a conversation. It doesn't matter what you think about Tucker. This ain't about Tucker. This is about what RFK Jr. says. Okay? RFK Jr. doesn't get the platform to talk everywhere. But RFK Jr. has some information, some dimes to drop that you need to hear.
57 to 60% and even more, sometimes up to 66% of my voters So my followers said that if I withdrew from the election, they were going to vote for Trump, which is ironic, by the way, Tucker, because President Trump and the RNC did nothing to prevent me from being on the ballots. They didn't have a big major organization sending private eyes out. You know, the Democratic Party was interviewing literally everybody I've ever met in 70 years to collect dirt on me. I got a call.
They've been doing that, I know for a fact, for over a year.
Okay, check this out, guys. I want people to let that sink in, the ramifications of that, because that says a lot about the Democratic Party. And this is what I've been saying, because believe me or not, guys, I know there's some people here who have been here for a while, and there's some people that are new. I'm very vocally opposed to the Democratic Party for a lot of reasons. And one of them is they lie. They fooled me. They fooled me. I didn't know they was this bad until 2016. 2016, I found out really how bad they were. That's when I really, I've been covering politics in 2012. I was like, Obama is not doing anything for black people. I figured that out in 2010. Then 2012, I was like, what is this? I started getting involved in politics. I started my YouTube channel in 2012. By 2016, I'm fully engaged. I'm going to rallies. I'm speaking at rallies. I'm hosting. I'm interviewing people in 2014, 2015, all types of candidates. By 2016, I understood just how horrible the Democratic Party was. But this time, I'm pissed because now I know this type of business. Say what you want to say about the Republican Party, and yeah, for real, I don't support the Republican Party either. But yo, what did RFK just say? RFK Jr. says, 66 of my voters said they were going to vote for Trump if it wasn't for me. But guess what? You think the Trump campaign didn't know that? And guess what the Trump campaign didn't do? Try to sue RFK and get him off ballots. Try to block him. Remember, RFK is only running as an independent because Democrats froze him out to begin with. That's the party of democracy. That's supposed to be the party that you're supposed to have your back. That's for the little guy. They're the ones that keep saying, we need to save our democracy. They're running on that. The most undemocratic people in the country are the elites that run the Democratic Party. Not every Democratic voter, not every liberal voter, they don't have anything to do with how the party runs. The DNC, the Democratic Party, are private organizations. Okay? It says a lot that the Republican Party, the GOP, wasn't the ones trying to stab RFK Jr. They weren't the ones trying to knock his legs from under him. They weren't the ones trying to throw him off ballots. They weren't the ones tying him up in court. They weren't the ones who were opposed to him running and exercising his constitutional right. It was the damn Democratic Party. So when people say, Tim Black, why you got such a problem with the Democrats? Listen, they are undemocratic. Not only did they use black people's pain and suffering to pick up checks and campaign and run on it, did not do a damn thing. Not only do they collect money and basically are so corrupt that they'll fundraise off the pain of black people, but they lie to us constantly. And not only that, they are horrible how they treat third-party candidates. They do stuff like this. They do backroom deals. They haven't had a real primary in the last 3 cycles. That's just since I've been covering it. Since 2016, they haven't had a real primary. So when these people say, Tim, what's your problem? What's your beef with the Democratic Party? I know that they haven't been paying attention. I know they watch MSNBC or CNN. That they are not independent thinkers. They're not people that do research on their party at all. Because in my opinion, if you did research, there's no way that you could be a supporter of that party. That's it. They're built in a way where they crush third-party candidates. They're built so that they shut down dissent. Just look at it. Look, I want to go back to Tucker, but let me make one more point, guys, and I promise I'll go. The Republicans did not want Trump. The Republican Party did not want Trump, but the people wanted Trump. What did we end up getting? Trump. I rest my case. One step further, Tea Party. Tea Party came in and did a lot of damage, reshaped the GOP to a large extent. Where do you see that type of uprising in the Democratic Party? Oh, you mean that the squad, which has been disassembled, that's basically impotent, feckless? Come on, guys. Come on. All right, keep going, Tucker. My bad. Had to get it out.
As you know.
Yeah, and they were open about it. This is what we're going to do. They put
I know for a fact for over a year, as you know.
Yeah, and they were open about it. This is what we're going to do. They put a person in charge of it named Liz Smith, who's that's the kind of person she is. This is what she does. She does negative research on people and tries to character assess.
Liz Smith, Elliot Spitzer's old girlfriend?
Yes.
Oh.
And she was in charge of that team. And then there was other people as well. Mary Beth Cahill had been my uncle Teddy's chief of staff, who I knew. And Liz Smith was in charge of the negative research, what they call negative research, euphemistically. And I got calls from, for example, a guy that I met at an AA meeting 40 years ago. And he received a call. Most of my family members received calls, contacts, either text or telephone calls from people who said, I'm doing intelligence for the DNC, and, we'd like to talk to you about Robert Kennedy, and if you have any negative information about him. So I was getting that.
What could possibly be the justification for that?
Well, they didn't want me running, and that's the thing, is it's not democratic. It wasn't,
That's such a mafia tactic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a mafia tactic. And to go a step further to make it even worse, why isn't that a conversation, a dialogue, and information that's shared across all the networks? Because the Democratic Party owns them. They're all in cahoots with the Democratic Party. The CNNs, the MSNBC, CBS, and ABC, they're all tied together. So they're not going to reveal this. Right? Horrible. Horrible, dirty business. Unchecked power. Run amok in the Democratic Party. Tied into the corporate media landscape. Behind the scenes, pulling the strings. Controlling what the people know. Controlling the narrative. And damn it, it ties right into everything we've been saying about how the Republicans and the Democrats operate. But folks, I've been telling people, man, and people don't want to hear it, man. Kamala Harris, the Democratic Party is the greater evil. I know you don't want to hear it because they say Republicans think black people are, they're racist and they're against black people and they're against, these people and they don't do this. And yeah, I'm not saying they're a good party. I'm not saying, I'm telling you it is what it is. Sometimes you got no good options. You're okay. Sometimes both options are bad. Okay? Sometimes. But sometimes one option is a little worse than the other option. Okay? And that's what we're looking at. There may be some social issues that make people go, ooh, well, this is better for us. They put some black faces in high places, but only so they can take advantage of us. I don't know. This says it. So I'm looking for my clip, guys. Zuckerberg. Just before we move on, I want to cover Dr. Umar Johnson, which I think he has a very good clip here. But I want to go back. I want to go to Zuckerberg because this is it. Let's go Zuckerberg.
Welcome back to America Decides. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg says he will resist attempts from the White House to censor content on his social media platforms. Here's the key phrase, moving forward. This after previously being influenced by U.S. government officials. The tech billionaire submitted a letter to the House Judiciary Committee chairman, that's Jim Jordan, Republican from Ohio, saying he now regrets having bowed to what he called pressure, that's a direct quote from the Biden administration, to remove certain content, including posts related to COVID-19 and Hunter Biden. If not remove, at least put lower on the platform. His company, Meta, owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. The White House said in response, "We believe tech companies and other private actors should take into account the effects their actions have on the American people while making independent choices about the information they present." For more on this, let's bring in Jolene Kent. Jolene, that's a pretty benign or anodyne statement from the White House. Many people will look at what Mark Zuckerberg has now said to the House Judiciary Committee and say, hey, wait a minute, what happened and why isn't there more outcry?
Yeah, this is interesting because the letter was not published or shared by Mark Zuckerberg or Meta itself. And
Okay, look, guys, in a nutshell, for anybody who's kind of like the eyes are glossing over on this, Zuckerberg put out a letter where he explains he's not going to be bullied by the Democrats this time. Yeah, he was saying he got bullied by the Democrats in 2020 over the COVID issue. He stepped on a lot of information. He suppressed it. He used his platform to suppress after being cajoled and being pressured and intimidated by the Democrats. He sat on a lot of information at their request, okay? And he says he's not going to do this time. This time, he's not going to allow them to bully him. He's not going to go along with the script. It just plays right into what I'm saying about the Democratic Party, man. Once again, censorship. Democratic Party censoring, controlling the narrative, doing the spin game. Why does he have that criticism of the Republican Party? That's all I'm saying. We need more parties, guys. Absolutely, we need more parties. But absolutely, the Democratic Party is a very rotten party. It's a rotten institution. Anytime a billionaire is like, God, these guys are horrible to work with. They kneecap me, Johnson. A billionaire. You and I don't got a chance. Don't get me wrong. I'm not up here caping for the Facebook. I had to sue Facebook. I won, but it took me 2 years. Because they took little Tim Black's money from his ads, from ads that ran on my content. And they're so gangster. They said, hey, we're going to pay you your money. You earn this. And then they just didn't send me my check. They like changed it because they didn't like my content. But you already ran the ads. You already made your money. You didn't run your ads. You ran ads for other people who made money off my content. Now you don't want to pay me. So it took me 2.5 years to get my money. We're not talking about lots of money, but it was the principle. So believe me, guys, I'm not up here caping for the Facebook people. I'm not caping for Mark Zuckerberg. If I'm lying, they can sue me, and I'm not lying. But this right here, this is horrible stuff. This is the Democratic Party using their power, using their authority to shut down stories they don't want out, to change the narrative, to change the natural conversations, to shut down free speech. And then to put out this bullshit statement. Oh, we the Biden administration do not interfere. We offer suggestions, but ultimately it's up to those third parties to decide whatever they want to censor. Whatever. Now I'm pretty sure you made it very clear to Mark Zuckerberg in the Facebook group that there was going to be consequences and repercussions if they did not follow your advice. Period. You did the same thing probably to Twitter and all the other platforms out there. So that's what I say, guys. It's once you detox from all that nonsense and take a step back and look, it's like, I can't believe I was ever involved with this. I can't believe I thought they were the lesser evil because they said nice things. It's all a setup. All right. Let's go, man. This is funny. Okay, so how can I frame this? Well, okay. On this channel, I've covered what's been happening with the Kamala Harris support And I told you guys, I believe most of it is manufactured by those entities that are employed by her or want ad revenue from the Democratic Party. And believe me, it's a lot of money the DNC is spending to buy influence. Not only that, to run ads. And a lot of the people that are coming out supporting Kamala Harris, who are in entertainment, in radio, or who are performers, have an opportunity to make money with the DNC, the Democratic Party, its subsidiaries. So, yeah, they have an incentive to all of a sudden put on their Kamala Harris cape and go into action. But some people are calling it out. I'm not the only one. I thought I was. But now other people are calling it out too. One of those people is Dr. Umar Johnson. Check out Dr. Umar Johnson calling out Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, D.L. Hugley, and even Roland Martin.
Television debate. I want a television debate with Steve Harvey, D.L. Hugley, Ricky Smiley versus Dr. Umar Ifatunde. Is the Democratic Party the party of African people? Roland Martin can join in too. If they want Roland, they can bring Roland too. I want D.L. Hugley, Steve Harvey, and Ricky Smiley in a debate. Is the Democratic Party the party of the American African? Somebody get Steve Harvey on the phone. Somebody get D.L. Hugley on the phone. Somebody get Ricky Smiley. Dr. Umar wants to come on y'all show and debate you 3-on-1. And if y'all need Roland to help you out, Roland can come too. We can make it 4-on-1. Steve Harvey said that the Omega Psi Phi brothers run the radio. In all respect to my Omega Psi Phi brothers, the late great Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was a member of Omega Psi Phi, so I'm not going to reduce the Omegas down to 3 men. I'm not going to do that. We're going to keep this about Steve, DL, and Ricky. Okay? Steve, DL, and Ricky. I want a debate. DL Hugley, will you debate me on your radio? Steve Harvey, will you debate me on your radio? Ricky Smiley, will you debate me? I'll debate all of you separately or all 3 of you together. Since y'all run black radio, and I run black consciousness, it's only right that we have a clash of kings. Y'all called the kings of comedy, right? The kings of comedy? Let's call it the kings of comedy versus King Kong consciousness. Let's call it the kings of comedy versus King Kong consciousness. Let's call it the kings of comedy versus King Kong consciousness. I'm ready right now. I don't need no prep time. I'm ready right now. Intellectual Ifatunde is ready right now. When we going to do this debate?
I like this, man. I got to tell you, man, I felt that this was something that I wish that I had a platform that was bigger so they would have to respond to me. I've been on D.L. Hugley's neck for about 6 months. He won't say an uttering word because I'm too small, but he responded to Dr. Umar. We'll get to that in a minute. Steve Harvey won't respond to me, but he responded to Dr. Umar. Oh, no, I think he responded to Cat Williams. So they'll respond to you if you're big enough, right? So unfortunately, I don't reach that. I'm at that point yet. But yeah, I like this because I'm tired of these people getting paid or trying to get favors. And you can't tell me, oh, well, I just support Kamala Harris. You don't know enough about politics, Steve Harvey, to even make that type of call. We start talking about any type of policy, Steve Harvey. You and Ricky Smiley don't have nothing for us. You don't even know what she stands for at all. Okay, so we all know you only sided with her because of how it benefits you either financially, professionally, or through relationships. Which is the main reason why most others, like, look, I'm not even singling you out if you guys weren't so damn vocally bashing Black Americans for not supporting her when we are the most supportive of her. It's like way over the top the way Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey and these other folks project themselves, the way they dance for these biscuits, the way they perform above and beyond for the Democratic Party. It's just pathetic, man. Once again, the Democratic Party, I got so many issues with them, but it's not even that. You can support who you want, but why do these particular black men have to go after black people and bash us? They don't have to do that. So I'm with Dr. Umar, man. Call them out. Call them out. Call them out. And there's so many other black Americans all across the internet who feel the same way. They've been calling out these people that think they run the internet, think they run black America, think they speak for black America. No one chose D.L. Hugley, Roland Martin, Ricky Smiley, Luke Campbell, Plies? Plies need to be working fries at Wendy's. So anyway, for those that want to know really what Dr. Umar's problem or his concern, I wanted him to kind of explain a little bit more why he's calling him out.
They bringing up Fannie Lou Hamer when the Democratic Party sabotaged Fannie Lou Hamer. Look at the hypocrisy. They don't think y'all know y'all history. They don't think y'all know y'all history. Bringing up Fannie Lou Hamer. She turned in her damn grave. She turned in her damn grave. The Democratic Party was Fannie Lou Hamer's enemy, brother and sister. It will be about both parties, but who's pushing Trump? I'm not pushing Trump, and they not pushing Trump, so we don't need to have a conversation about Trump, but we could bring it up if you like. They not pushing Trump, and I'm not pushing Trump, but we can include Trump if you want.
It's one of the most pathetic things when we are criticizing the Democratic Party, instead of people saying, you know what, we need to stop giving our votes to the Democratic Party. You got to appoint Dr. Umar, you got to appoint Tim Black. Instead they go, well, you must like the Republicans. Nah, no, that's not how that works. You are shopping at a store that's contributing to the elimination of black people in the world. That's a part of our destruction. You are buying from and you are participating in a party that is destroying us and laughing in your face behind your back, on your face and behind your back. That does not mean I'm with the other party. I'm alerting you to what they're doing. And they're only able to do it because you allow them. That's the point. That is not doing the work of Trump. That's doing the work for black people. That's doing the work for America. That's doing the work for the truth. Okay? That's doing the work for the truth. Dr. Umar is going to go a little step further. But that because I saw some people were saying, why is Dr. Umar so angry? Why is he so hostile? Because he's pissed. They're using, at that convention, they used the likeness in the name of Fannie Lou Hamer when the Democratic Party didn't rock with her like that. Democratic Party did not represent her. They were not fighting for her. They were not supporting her. She was a thorn in their side. And now they want to rewrite history and paint themselves as being in solidarity with them. And instead of you being upset that they are conniving that way, you mad at him for being upset. No, you're not mad at the people that are using Fannie Lou Hamer's legacy to trick you. You mad at him for being mad about it. You calling him out for being This is what happens when you don't have information. Those people that are feeling that way about Dr. Umar in this particular case, they lack information. And we're trying to give you the education. Dr. Umar's going to go a little bit further.
The problem with y'all Negroes is y'all believe y'all have to belong to a plantation at all. Let me say it again. The problem with y'all Negroes is y'all believe y'all need to belong to a plantation at all. Y'all don't want to get off of a plantation. Y'all need a plantation, whether it's the Republican Party plantation, Democratic Party plantation, Green Party plantation. Y'all need a plantation. That's the problem with black folks. You need to belong. Who should I vote for? Stop begging me for the right to belong to a plantation. I'm a runaway African. I represent, where my runaway Africans at? We running away with our vote. We not staying on no damn plantation. I represent the runaway slave party. I represent the runaway enslaved African vote. We done ran off the Democratic Party plantation, and we ain't coming back. We done ran off the Republican Party plantation. We ain't coming back. If you do your history, the corporation is a plantation. All of us work, right? You work at a job. You work for a corporation. The corporation is the 21st century plantation. The NBA is a plantation. NFL is plantation. Hip hop is plantation. Hollywood is plantation. Media is plantation. We still on the plantation. The corporation is the new plantation, my ninja. The corporation is the new plantation. And guess what the new slave chain is? Guess what the new shackle is? The new shackle is your paycheck. The new plantation is the corporation, and the new shackle is your paycheck.
Yes. Yes, man. Yes, I agree. I agree, man. I make a lot less than I made when I was working in corporate America, when I was working in the computer IT field. I wasn't even that high up, but I made a lot more than I make now. But I'm a free black man now and have been that way for a decade. And it took years for me to be consciously free. Consciously, like totally free. Like I could say whatever I want to say. That I'm able to be myself. I had to find out who myself was after 25 years of working in a system where you could not be yourself, where you had to constantly code switch. You know what I'm talking about if you have a job. And you know what? Everyone's doing it. Everyone has to code switch. Everyone's trapped in that shit. It's just it's more hostile to Black Americans. It's more hostile to us. It really is. So Dr. Umar put this out, and I appreciate him for putting this out. Go to Dr. Umar on Instagram. That's his content. Courtesy of Dr. Umar from Instagram. Always respect due to the content creators of their own content. Well, D.L. Hugley responded to this. D.L. Hugley responded to Dr. Umar. And he said, you know, I want to see if I can show it to you. Let's see if I can show you. Because I can read you his statement. But let's see if we can put it up on the screen. Because the words are kind of important. Let's see what we got. Hold tight, guys. Let me see if I can go find that for you. Because I was just going to read it. Then I saw a couple comments. I think there are people that they would benefit from seeing it. And let me see if I can zoom in on it. I have it, guys. Where's my zoom feature here? Is there a zoom feature? Because this looks really small. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay. Let's see what we got. I got it for us, guys. Let's see if we can do this. Present. I'm still kind of new with this system here, using this. Window? There it is. Got it. Let me get me off the screen. There you go. So, bet. So, D.L. Hugley responded to Dr. Umar, bet. Why don't we televise it? Live. From the cafeteria of your school. After the kids have all had lunch, provided free of charge, wearing free uniforms provided through all the donations you've taken in for years. Dr. Doolittle, this ain't what you want. Team DL. Yeah, so he went kind of hard on Dr. Umar here. And I would say, yeah, he went hard on Dr. Umar. Here's the thing, though, guys. Here's the thing. Dr. Umar still wins because Dr. Umar is standing on righteousness. Yeah, see, Dr. Umar standing on righteousness. Yeah, those are good jokes. And yeah, DL has a couple good points. Where's the school? Where's the uniforms? Where's the food? Gotcha. Guess what? Distraction. That ain't what the conversation's about. The conversation, the debate is that, is Dr. Umar got his school up? Is Dr. Umar, what Dr. Umar did with whatever donations? That's not what the conversation's about. The conversation's about you and them damn Democrats. That you all have been putting out all this content bashing Black Americans, saying, particularly Black men, how we don't support Kamala Harris. That's what the conversation was. Don't allow yourself to be sidetracked, man, by DL coming in and saying some jokes. That's why he did it. Because he can't stand on his square. But yeah, if he's just joking and he really wants to do the debate and he wants to televise it, great. Do it. I support it. Let's do it. Can I restream it? Hell, I love to participate. I would love to sit across from Roland Martin and pick apart all the money that he's been made off the Democratic Party. Mr. Independent, that's what Roland Martin says, he's an independent. Who you think's more independent, me or Roland Martin? Roland Martin says he's not even a Democrat, he's an independent. Compare my content to Roland Martin's content. Does Roland Martin seem to be independent? See, I would love to have these conversations. I would love to get into this. I'd love to talk to D.L. Hugley and Plies and Ricky Steve, and Steve Smiley. You know, whatever. I love to talk to, because they're all the same. They're all carpetbaggers. They're all beggars. They're all private dancers for the Democratic Party. And that's not what we need. We need people that are courageous. We need people that are willing to stand up to the Democrats. We need people that are willing to demand something for our vote, even if it costs you money. Guys, right now, where Black people are in America, we need people that are willing to lose money. Not come up with excuses why it's okay for them to take money. You understand what I'm saying? We need to go the other way. The time is running out on Black America. We're being overrun as it is. How are we going to survive in a country where we own hardly anything? So anyway, yeah, I'm with Dr. Umar on this out of principle. That doesn't mean DL didn't make a funny jab. Good job, DL. DL is a comedian. I'm a semi-comedian. I'm a professional comedian too. I made money touring on road. I did that too. But this ain't about that. This is about DL Hugley doing all this press for Kamala Harris. That's what this is about, baby. Make jokes about that shit. Make jokes about that. When you said she got a name that you can't pronounce. See, what's blacker than that? Make jokes about how it's okay for you and Steve Harvey and Ricky Smiley to throw Black people under the bus for this candidate. A candidate that can't even do a debate. You willing to debate Dr. Umar? You ain't set up no stipulations like we need mics cut or no mics, or you need to bring notes. You caping for a candidate that needs notes at her debate. Who can't afford to stand. Trump is a decade, 10, 12 years older than her. Excuse me, guys, damn. Donald Trump is 12, 14, 15 years older than Kamala Harris, and she wants to sit down during the debate. That's your team, DL. See, I would love for you to defend that. And we know what you're going to do to defend it. You're going to change the subject. You, Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, going to change the subject because you can't stand on it, man. And there are people that are laughing it up. They think that it's going to work with some folks. because they don't know what to focus on. But then when someone like me comes in and reminds them, this is not about a joke. This is not about funny time. D.L. Hugley is hurting black people right now because he should be using his position to push Kamala for concessions to get our support. Instead, the only concessions that I think that D.L. Hugley, Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, Plies, and them have negotiated in Roland are concessions for themselves. They're supposed to be negotiating on your behalf. Especially Steve Harvey. This was the guy that went to the Trump Tower. This guy was at Trump Tower 4 years ago? 8 years ago? He was at Trump Tower. Now he at Kamala's Tower. I mean, what more evidence do you need of a flim-flam dude? A flip-flopper? A lame? No ethics. But we already knew that about Steve. Look how he did Bernie Mac. Come on, look how he did Mark Curry. Come on, man. We already know that about this guy. This guy, he ain't in the conversation. He got a lot of paper. He don't have no soul. He don't have any ethics. Yeah, Steve. Yeah. Real talk. It is what it is. So, yeah, I side with Dr. Umar. It's time for the Democratic Party to be called out. And while we're doing it, let's call out all the sycophants. Let's call out all the private dancers. Let's call out all the spokesmodels that get out here in their cape form. They get on these platforms. They lie through their teeth. They pretend to be fighting for us when they're only fighting for themselves. All right, guys, remember tomorrow, I'll be on a panel. I want you to come through. The link is in the comments section. It's pinned. Be there tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Let's go to comments. Your analysis is great. Don need Dems positions. There it is. That's right. Don needs Dem positions. Yeah, he's talking about the clip with Don Lemon, man. Thank you, MC Recovery and Relapse. Philip, Kamala Harris, OBJ, equally Mayor Tiffany Henry. Oh, man. Yeah, Mayor Tiffany Henry. Is she in jail yet? What's happening with her? She getting sued? Did they sue her yet? That's just a horrific story, man. She's just brazen with it. Arlene, now you need to get back to watching Friday again, Tim. Flippity flop flop. Thank you, Arlene. We Curry Signs with a super sticker. Thank you, We Curry. And over 50 and Fabulous. Show Tim some love, y'all. Thank you, 50. I appreciate you, sis. Black Mamba came through with a $2 super sticker. Thank you, fam. Before you guys leave, please, everybody, please hit the like button. Let the algorithm know this is a good show. This is a quality show. This is not a show that capes for the establishment. We stand up for the people. We're going to keep on doing that. That's what we're on. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, we'll be back tomorrow at 9:30. At 6:30, I'll be stopping off at the other show. I don't have to dress up and go anywhere. It's going to be from home. So we're going to do a show tomorrow. I should have a voice because I'm going to be on a panel. I ain't going to have to talk the whole time. So we'll do our show at 9:30 tomorrow. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread. And don't be out here arguing with people either. Sprinkle some facts on them and get the hell out of there. That's it. All right, guys. Peace, Wolfpack. Become a member of the Tim Black Show. Thank you, fam. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you, fam. Thank you. Tobias, thank you as well. Thank you, Tim Black Wolfpack members. I appreciate y'all. DeAndre, you have a good night too, DeAndre. Thank you for coming through, fam. I appreciate you. Mad to you. Thank you. I appreciate you too. All my people that support the channel, thank you for supporting us, man. It's because of you we're able to do this. I'll see you on the next one. All right, guys. Where my girls at? I mean, my ladies.
you.